Today in crypto land, is the $10,000 Bitcoin coming to a market near you? Bitwise keeps up the fight for the Bitcoin ETF and your daily reminder of why Bitcoin is the answer to financial tyranny. And let's just get straight into this, guys. The price of Bitcoin has hit over $8,800 on many major exchanges, at least at the time of recording this video. A price that we have not seen in a little more than 12 months. Which just further confirms the general bullish sentiment that we are seeing in the market. Bitcoin is undergoing a big breakout currently, moving up 9% in the last 24 hours, leading many to ask the question, is $10,000 the next price point to watch? Well, $10,000 psychologically is a very important number to cross over. Obviously, we have to go over $9,000 first, which may have happened by the time you watch this video. Then, of course, we have $11,500 after that, which is, again, the next big one. And after that, it's moon time, guys. And every time we see a big movement like this, we think, oh, there must be a big retracement coming in. But the market just keeps bouncing back and demonstrating its strength and its power, which, of course, only compounds the positive sentiments that we are seeing in the market currently. Honestly, with so many people thinking that the new all-time highs are bound to come and are just around the corner, the question is, who the hell is selling right now? Bitcoin will be getting scarce on the markets, at least at these prices. Does that mean there will be no price retracements before we see the new all-time high? No, I would expect that there will be. Maybe there won't be. The world's a crazy place, but it is very likely that we will see some potentially even quite big retracements. Does that mean we're going to see an 80% drawdown? It's very unlikely unless there's some kind of black swan event, but a 10 or a 20 or a 30% drawdown would be no surprise at all. And you know what? None of this noise really concerns me. I mean, I enjoy watching the day-to-day prices. It's kind of fun, but the new price discovery is coming. Whether that happens sooner or that happens later, we're going to pass that $20,000 mark again. It's just a question of when that happens. And when that happens, I think we're going to blast off to new all-time highs. But me, though, I just keep on stacking those Satoshis, patiently waiting. It's kind of a weird lifestyle. You know, your friends ask like, hey, Lark, what do you like to do in your free time? Me? Stacking them sats all day long, brother. Stacking sats in the morning, stacking sats in the evening, stacking sats all day long. And talking about Bitcoin to anyone who will listen to me, basically, all the time. It's kind of crazy, actually. But you gotta get those sats, guys. Seriously, seriously, seriously. Now, it is, of course, crazy to think that 1 million Satoshis right now are around $86, $87, $88, depending on what the price of Bitcoin is when you watch this video. So if you have the capability to get 1 Bitcoin, obviously that's totally awesome. But you don't need to have 1 Bitcoin. It's a great goal, but you can have 1 million sats, or 2 million sats, or 10 million Satoshis. Those are all worthy goals as well. Invest within your means, because globally, even such numbers will put you in the long-term Bitcoin rich list. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, someone else who shares that sentiment is Max Keiser, who is and has been very spot on with his Bitcoin evangelism over the years. To quote Max, "The timing is immaterial. It is still going to outperform every other asset you can possibly imagine owning over the next 5, 10, or 15 years. Forget about timing. Timing is for people who think that I'm going to wait and buy it at a better price." And that is a bad way to approach crypto. Stack Satoshis. Why? Because 1 Bitcoin is always going to be worth 1 Bitcoin, guys. Crazy stuff. Let's check in with our old buddy Tim Draper, because he has some very great insights on this topic as well.
When people ask, well, so what do you think has happened with Bitcoin? I say, well, you know, 1 Bitcoin is still 1 Bitcoin. It always has been, always will be. There are only 21 million of them, and you probably should get one. And as opposed to thinking, comparing it against the fiat currency, because I look at currencies and I say, well, there's Bitcoin, and they say, well, that's very volatile. And I say, no, all the other currencies are very volatile against Bitcoin, because they know that this is really transforming the world. And so these currencies that are tied to political forces or you know, dictatorships or even the dollar, which really does have political influence and has to be the monetary policy has to be so precise to get it just right. Why bother?
Selling your fiat to buy Bitcoin, I look at it as trading fake money, which is backed by faith and violence, you know, and all that fun stuff, for real hard money, backed by math. There is so much rampant dysfunction in the banking world right now. It's crazy. We have unimaginable, unpayable debt. We have trade wars. We have actual wars for resources, for corporate profits. We have banks facing collapse. We have banks doing massive fraud and getting away with it time after time after time, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Buying Bitcoin is an active vote with your dollars to check out of that corrupt system. And over the coming decades, will blast way past other major asset classes. Honestly, I have fun watching the ups and downs of the prices. It is quite entertaining. But long term, this intraday price action is really, for me anyways, I don't work on shorting or longing the market on BitMEX or anything, just entertainment. I'm a hodler, guys. I'm a stacker. And I'm looking at making a better financial system for the world in the long run, which is why I buy and I hold Bitcoin. While buying and holding your own Bitcoin is the true path to financial independence, our old buddies over at Bitwise are still pushing to get the Bitcoin ETF approved, which of course is a Bitcoin paper product. They've come out and said Bitcoin is an extremely orderly market. They are urging the SEC to approve the Bitcoin ETF. They know the bull's coming, guys. They want to get in. They want to profit from it. Their newest plea comes just a week after the latest postponement was passed down by the SEC. Bitwise has submitted a 104-page white paper on the true state of the Bitcoin markets, hitting out at fake volume on exchanges once again, a problem, of course, which both CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap have been working to try and address, and it is a big problem in the crypto industry with a lot of exchanges trying to look way cooler than they actually are. Bitwise said after you remove the fake volume and the fake data from the equation, you are left with an extremely efficient and orderly market for Bitcoin, and a market that is backstopped by a regulated derivatives market of significant size. Additionally, Bitwise went on to say that the market is substantially more US focused than the reporting of these major websites and other figures would seem to suggest. Over 30% of genuine volume comes through US based exchanges. 9 of the 10 real volume exchanges are regulated by FinCEN under Money Services Business Regulations. And 6 of those 10 hold New York's Bit license, which of course is incredibly difficult to get. Pretty cool stuff. The ETF is a question of when, not if. I know we've talked about that many times before, but it really is. And while we don't need these paper Wall Street products, they're coming whether you like it or not. And when they do come, they will inject massive liquidity into the markets, which in a weird way we can all benefit from. And just as a reminder of why we don't need Wall Street and their dirty games, this little story for you came out. JP Morgan has been accused of purging accounts of conservative activists. Now look, I really don't care who these people are, and I'm making no stance on these people or their politics because, to be honest, I really don't care about them. But whether you're a right-winger or a left-winger or a no-winger or a chicken-winger, whatever the heck it is, being denied financial services because of your political opinions, because of your race, maybe your language in some places, maybe your gender in some places, maybe your sexual preference in some countries, or whatever else makes you uniquely and weirdly and wonderfully you is messed up. And you know what will never deny you access to financial services, regardless of how weird you are, regardless of how extreme you are or unpopular your opinions are? Bitcoin. Of course it's Bitcoin. Now, can we take a moment to try and just imagine, of course, the difficulties of actually being excluded from the financial system. We take all these things for granted, having a bank account and a credit card and all this fun stuff. Try to put yourself in those people's shoes, whether it be these particular people or other people who've been denied financial services in the past. It's not cool. Bitcoin does not discriminate. It can't, which is amazing. Even if the legacy system tries to make getting Bitcoin more difficult, Bitcoin continues on. We can see this evidenced, though, in yet another blow to freedom, and what is also likely a result of continued global financial tyranny, or the sanctions regime, as other people might like to call it. Local Bitcoins has officially shut off services for Iran-based users. This comes after we have seen high volume on local Bitcoins in Iran. Well, local Bitcoin has not explicitly said why Iranians are being excluded from the website. The likely blame lies on US sanctions, which of course are almost certainly going to be the reason. And this is just a situation where more of our fellow humans are being attacked and actively excluded from the future of finance due to the political power games of the sociopaths who are in charge of global governments. Government. Will this be the end of Bitcoin in Iran? Of course it won't be. Bitcoin can be sent anywhere. Bitcoin doesn't care about your sanctions. Bitcoin doesn't care about your borders or your political BS. But it does make it much harder for people in the country to actually get their hands on Bitcoin, which is sad because Iranians have every right to Bitcoin like everyone else. In the long run, the money of freedom will win out. And while all this drama continues to unfold with banks and global politics and all that stuff, just keep stacking those sats, guys. It's the plan. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. As always, I super appreciate the time you take out to come over here and check these videos out. You guys are supremely awesome. If you did enjoy today's video, leave a thumbs up on it. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. You can always hit that bell down below to stay up to date when I put out a new video. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.